Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanishalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. In this session, we'll be discussing from the 28th verse of the 13th chapter of the first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. We are discussing Dhritarashtra quitting home on the instruction of Vidura. Vidura has come to the palace of Yudhishthira in order to instruct Dhritarashtra. So Vidura is speaking to Dhritarashtra. This 28th verse also is spoken by Vidura to Dhritarashtra, continuing his instructions. Atho dichim disham yatu swair ajnata gatir bhavan itorvak prayashak kalaha pumsam guna vikarshanaha. The meaning of this 28th verse is as follows. Please therefore leave for the north immediately without letting your relatives know, for soon that time will approach which will diminish the good qualities of men. So Srila Prabhupada explains all these terms. What is the meaning of leave for the north and what is the time being referred to here. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, one can compensate for a life of frustration by becoming a dhira or leaving home for good without communicating with relatives. And Vidura advised his eldest brother to adopt this way without delay, because very quickly the age of Kali was approaching. The age referred to here is the age of Kali, which is fast approaching. The Dwapar Yuga is going to come to an end and Kali Yuga is going to begin. And what is the characteristic of the age of Kali? And that is told in the verse. In the verse it said, Pumsam guna vikarshanaha, that which will diminish the good qualities of men, that which will deteriorate the good qualities of people in general. So Srila Prabhupada says regarding this age of Kali fast approaching, Srila Prabhupada says, a conditioned soul is already degraded by the material association. Whether Satya Yuga or Dwapar Yuga or Treta Yuga or Kali Yuga, all yugas, this material association is already degrading our consciousness by the power of illusion, the power of the three gunas. And still, in the Kali Yuga, the good qualities of a man will deteriorate to the lowest standard. Satya Yuga was the best age, and then little degradation when Treta Yuga set in, and even more little degradation when Dwapar Yuga set in, but Kali Yuga is the lowest. The maximum deterioration happens in Kali Yuga. Dhritarashtra was advised to leave home before Kali Yuga approached because the atmosphere which is created by Vidura, his valuable instructions on the facts of life, would fade away due to the influence of the age which was fast approaching. Some symptoms of Kali Yuga are mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in another purport in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter. Srila Prabhupada says about the age of Kali, the age of Kali is very dangerous for the human being. Human life is simply meant for self-realization. But due to this dangerous age, men have completely forgotten the aim of life. It's characteristic of Kali Yuga. We see everywhere around us. People do not know what is the aim of life. Most people lead a life without any particular aim. Of course, there is always a default aim, that is sense enjoyment, sense gratification. That's common for all living beings throughout the creation, at all times, in all places, in all circumstances. That's common, sense enjoyment. But in Kali Yuga, even this sense enjoyment, they are not cautious to exercise certain restraint. Unrestricted sense gratification is the norm in Kali Yuga. So, it has been explained in the scriptures, in this age of Kali, the lifespan will gradually decrease. People will gradually lose their memory. They will lose their finer sentiments. They will lose their strength, and they will lose their better qualities. A list of the anomalies of this age is given in the 12th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And so, this age is very difficult for those who want to utilize this life for self-realization. The scriptures say there is only one aim of the human form of life, that is self-realization. But in general, people in the material world are inclined to sense gratification, and they don't take the aim of life as self-realization very seriously. Especially in the age of Kali, they almost completely forget that the aim of life is self-realization. So people are so busy with sense gratification that they completely forget about self-realization. Out of madness, they frankly say there is no need for self-realization, because they do not realize that this brief life is but a moment on our great journey towards self-realization. Generally, self-realization takes many lifetimes. So, as we progress in self-realization, life after life, life after life, life after life, then each duration of life in a particular body is a brief moment, that's all. Made little progress, some more progress, some more progress, like that. The whole system of education in Kali Yuga is geared to sense gratification. And if a learned man thinks it over, he sees that the children of this age are being intentionally sent to the slaughterhouses of so-called education. This is not the case in the former ages. Children were educated in a Gurukula. And in the Gurukula, the primary education that was given was that this human form of life is very precious. It should be utilized only for self-realization. And of course, there was also the teaching of how to earn one's livelihood by different prescribed methods. The Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, they used to undergo training in the Gurukula. So they were trained in the prime necessity of human life, that is self-realization, and they were also trained in how to earn their livelihood. Both training was given. But in this age of Kali, there is no training about self-realization at all, even in the so-called schools and educational institutions. It's almost completely forgotten. Learned men, therefore, must be cautious of this age, and if they at all want to cross over the dangerous ocean of Kali, they must follow the footsteps of great saintly persons like the sages of Naimisharanya. And they should accept, like the sages of Naimisharanya accepted Suta Goswami, they should accept Suta Goswami or his bona fide representative as the captain of the ship. What is a ship? Like in an ocean, to cross an ocean, you take help of a ship. Similarly, the ship for crossing the ocean of Kali is described here as the message of Lord Sri Krishna in the shape of Bhagavad Gita or the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the Bhagavatam suggests that hear the message of Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita and thereby prepare oneself to cross this ocean of material existence or the ocean of the age of Kali. Now Srila Prabhupada explains that Vidura is giving specific instruction to Dhritarashtra, considering Dhritarashtra's current position. What is his situation? So Srila Prabhupada explains the best is to become a Narottama or a first class human being depending completely on the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Now this is not possible for any ordinary man. To become a Narottama or a first class human being, a first class personality is not possible for a human being, in which one completely depends on the Supreme Lord. Such a situation is not possible for an ordinary human being. Why is it not possible for ordinary human being? It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita in the 7th chapter and 28th verse that a person who is completely relieved of all taints of sinful acts can alone depend on the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. This is not possible for ordinary people. Dhritarashtra is advised by Vidura to at least become a Dhira. 3 stages. Dhira, a sannyasi, and Narottama. So Dhira is the lowest, the least one can do to prepare oneself for death, for self-realization. So Dhritarashtra advised Vidura at least to become a Dhira in the beginning, if it were impossible for him to become a sannyasi or a Narottama. Lowest is Dhira, better than that is sannyasi, better than that, best is Narottama. Persistently endeavoring on the line of self-realization helps a person to rise to the conditions of a Narottama from the stage of a Dhira. Gradually rise to the topmost platform. The Dhira stage is attained after prolonged practice of the yoga system. But by the grace of Vidura, one can attain this stage immediately simply by willing to adopt the means of the Dhira stage, which is the preparatory stage for sannyas. The sannyas stage is the preparatory stage of Paramahamsa, or the first great devotee of the Lord, also called Narottama. So this is the advice of Vidura for Dhritarashtra. Consider Dhritarashtra's situation, he was completely entangled. So to pull him out, extricate him from the entanglement, at least leave home and go to a secluded place and prepare yourself by being undisturbed. So that is the advice Vidura is giving to Dhritarashtra. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.